Welcome to YouTooSpain, almost live. On today's show, I'll be chatting with Lara Clara Goodacre, all about her dream life in Spain and how she's now a children's author. Isn't that fantastic? Now, although this is a pre-recorded show today, you can still live chat to each other, but make sure you put any questions to Lara in the comments below on YouTube. Settle back with a cuppa and enjoy. You're all very welcome to YouTooSpain. Let's dance! Right, Lara is waiting to join us, but in the meantime, don't forget to sign up for free to our monthly newsletter on YouTooSpain.com. There's loads of information for you on there to help you with your Spanish dream, including blog articles, resources, links, offers from recommended companies, and much more. So sign up now to benefit from that. Doesn't cost you a penny. It's a win-win-win with a cherry on top. So without further ado, let's meet my wonderful guest. It's our friend Lara Clara Goodacre. Hola, Lara.
Hello. Hi, everyone.
How are you doing today?
Good, thanks. Yeah, but extremely hot, but good.
It is, isn't it? I've been sat in my office all day making videos, and I've just looked at the fan beside me and it says 33 degrees. That can't be good for you, can it? But I think it's even hotter out there. So
I think, yeah. Outside, yeah, I'm outside. I'm in the shade, but outside, and it's really hot.
That's good. So my first question was going to be, so tell us first of all what brought you to Spain and why did you stay? Is it the heat?
No. Yeah, I came on holiday, and I went to a hotel in Salou in the north of Spain, and I met Chris. He was working in the hotel, and we got together, and I left him at Saturday at 6 o'clock. And on the Tuesday at 6 o'clock, which was exactly 3 days to the hour, I landed back in Salou and moved in with him. And that was me. Yeah. And
wow.
that was 20 years ago. And yeah, we're still together now.
Fabulous. Love at first sight. Love's young dream. Fantastic. Yeah. And people talk about living the Spanish dream. Was it something you'd dreamed about, and has it lived up to expectations?
I don't think I thought about living in Spain just because I was so young. Like, I'd only just turned 19. But definitely, when I said, well, I don't know, you say expectations. So I was trying to think about this before, but I remember like the few days leading up, like Chris and I had discussed me coming back, and then I remember just sitting by the pool in Salou for hours and hours, just like in my mind thinking about it. You know, do I come back? Do I not come back? And then I realised that I didn't have anything to lose, so I thought, why not? And yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster life, should I say? But I don't regret it for a second. It's the best decision that I made, and I would definitely say that I lived the Spanish dream. So yeah, I definitely made the right decision.
Excellent. Oh, it's so good to hear. Have you moved around a lot in Spain then, and done a lot of different jobs? Yeah,
I was in Salou originally. Started off working in an English bar, then moved on to working in the hotels as an entertainer. And then we decided one winter to travel around the south of Spain, head down towards Granada way. We had an old Citroen AX then, and we went driving in this Citroen AX. And I didn't actually drive then because I later passed my test in Spain. But we went driving all around to Cordoba, Sevilla, like Granada capital, which is like my favourite city. And we, like in the winter time, and it gets quite cold around those areas. And I remember Chris used to drive a lot, and I had like a sleeping bag at the side of him. And I used to get in that. So we went on a big adventure, and then we decided to move to Loca in Granada. We wanted to get married there, and we bought a house there. And then we moved to Loca, and we lived there for, I think, 4 years. We had a lovely life. But we literally moved there when it was the 2008 crash. And from there, obviously we moved from having good jobs in the north to moving to Loca, thinking that we'd find work. And from travelling there to then moving there, it changed overnight. You know, there was no young people, there were no jobs. We were thinking, God, we've made the worst decision ever here. But no, we had a really lovely 4 years, met some really lovely friends that we're still friends with today. And but in the end, we had to look for work on the coast. So that's when I moved down to, I had a couple of jobs in Locker, which I'll tell you about in a minute when I tell you about the books, because that's when the first ideas for Olive Tail came about. So it all kind of, came together there. But then I applied online for a job at Jet2 and started working in Malaga Airport. And then I was there for, between Jet2 and working in a fashion, I went on to work in a fashion store. Selling like all, like designer clothes, that kind of thing. Met two of my best friends that are still my best friends to this day. Traveling wise. And then we were in Malaga. We had a couple of places in Malaga, Los Alamos, down on the beach, and then our little Raul came along, and then we couldn't live in a small, so we found a house and moved to Alarin de la Torre, which is where we've moved since, but we live in that area.
Brilliant. And then you're now working for Chris now as well.
Yes, yeah. I mean, so I've had quite a few jobs in Spain, as I say, like work from the beginning, working in an English bar to then entertainment in a hotel, then moving to Granada and working in a hostel, behind the bar, and then moving to Malaga, working in the airport, and then from there went to work in a nursery, and then in a school, and then finally I'm now working with Upsticks Drive, doing the car registrations here in Spain.
And now you're an author. You're an author as well. So has writing children's stories always been in your mind? You mentioned something about it in a minute, and we'll have a look at the books in a minute. But and have you always been into the fantasy stories like these? Yeah,
I mean, from a really young age. I always remember, like, I was an only child until I was nearly 6, and I used to spend a lot of time in my grandma and granddad's garden. They had like a big, in Yorkshire, they had like you can tell by the accent, and they had like a big garden which was like next to a wood. And I used to spend a lot of time there, making up things in my head and plays, and I don't know. I think it gave me like a big imagination to be an only child and to be just, it's not nowadays where there's video games, etc., and tablets. So definitely that was, I think, where it all kind of started. And then also, me and my cousins used to like play when they used to come over. We would play in the garden, and it would be like, we'd pretend to be the famous 5 or Adventure 7, and we would just kind of make up like all these, go down. There was like a chicken shack thing, and we'd go down these little alleys and make child's play. But I think that's where the imagination started, definitely.
What age group do you write for? Is it the same as the characters in the books? I mean, it's an Olive Tail. That was the first one. I can see it. It's right at the green screen's removing some of the green now, but the characters in this book are 10 and 12, I think. So is that about the age group?
About the age, I'd say like 9 to 12 kind of reading. That's the focus of readers, for that book, And then Attic Kids is more of like a bedtime story, so I would say like 5 to 7. I think it's quite fun for mums and dads to bedtime stories, read it to the children. That's kind of my idea with Attic Kids.
Excellent. Yeah. Did you get the sort of writing style from then reading to your own kids, or when you're working in schools? Yeah,
I mean, as far as like the writing style, well, when you read, you see like, I try to use like sound effects, and the reason for that is because kids really like respond well to that. I mean, even like with my 2 children, and working in the school, we would tell many stories, but the more you tell a story and you like get really animated and you do like a silly sound effect, or the kids get really excited too. So that is how I got that style of writing, because I wanted them to be involved and kind of have a bit of a laugh about it. So yeah, that's how that came about.
Brilliant. So as well as those sound effects, you've got some amazing illustrations in the books, and they're done by your father-in-law, Chris's dad, aren't they? And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're so colourful. So who were what was the inspiration for the characters and the creatures?
With Olive Tail, and that was when I was in Locker, and the actual three fairies, Isla, Olivia and Clemente, they actually came to me in a dream, which is crazy. Yeah, they dream a lot, and kind of ideas come that way. And those three, I was living in Locker, and those three characters came to me in a dream, and then I started sketching out, you know, like the plot of how I wanted it to be, you know, obviously them being the main characters. And then it got down to thinking of because obviously I wanted to have some kind of a dark character, you know, like not, because these were like really helpful fairies, and I wanted to have some kind of a dark character. So my initial idea was I was going to create a different fairy that was, you know, a bit evil, a bit dark, that kind of thing. And then a friend of mine who was over, Patrick, who was a school teacher from the UK, he was staying with us at the time, and he came up with the idea of why not make it into an animal or like an insect or something. And I thought, oh, okay. So I kind of, you know, was thinking in my head, not sure how this is going to go. But then there's a guy called Veruca that lives in Locker, an old Spanish guy. When I was working in the hostel, you know, we were with Sylvie, and she's a lovely lady, French lady actually, really nice. And she, you know, we were like, it was a new hostel, and we were trying to get business and get people in. And I always remember this one time, this drunkard guy, this old Spanish guy used to come in, and he was a bit mean. And when I say mean, one of the times well, I think it was the last time that I saw him, he came in and he sat and drank for hours and hours and hours. And then he knew that we wanted to close because the fair was on. Because he'd overheard some of us speaking, and he stayed, and we never got to go to the fair, and it got late, and he went out and left without paying. Ooh. So very naughty. So the character came from him, because he was just not a very nice man, and I just, you know, my head, you know, imagination, and I just started to think of, you know, a bad person really, and then that's how and then obviously combining it with the idea of it being an insect or an animal, a cockroach seems to be a perfect fit. So that was how Veruca, the evil cucaracha, came about.
Fabulous. What about, I'm going to pick some characters out of here as well. We're in Attic Kids 2. Let's see, who have you got in this one? Ferdy Frog and Rapping Rabbit. Yeah. Where did you get them from? Were these out of dreams as well?
No, do you know, these basically when I was a kid, we had an attic bedroom, and it was at a time where, you know, I was my younger brother and sister, as I say, they were like 5 and 6 years younger than me. And when I was about 11, my mum and dad divorced, and me and my sister used to have the attic room, and my little brother had the bedroom below. And when they would start arguing, I would go and get my brother, and I would bring him up to the bedroom, and I would invent characters to kind of distract them from what was going on downstairs. So they really came to life like that. And I think that's as well where the sound effects came in, because I used to always live like I'd say, come on, come in my bed. And then I'd start inventing all these, you know, different, as you'll see in the book, you know. And I always used to enter with a sound effect, and they'd enter the room with a sound effect, and they'd leave the room with the sound effect. It would be like the rapping rabbit would be like rap rap rap, and then the singing dolly, she's like an opera voice, she's like la la la, you know. And then I would tell these stories. Attic Kids is pretty much based on real life, really. Well, as in imagination, you know. And then it's really strange, because after I started Olive Tail, quite a few years after that, then my sister Jessica, who's she's actually a radio DJ on Monster Radio in Lanzarote. So if you want to check her show out on a Saturday morning,
plug.
She's really fun. She's just really fun, really fun. Yeah. She came to me and we started chatting about me doing Olive Tail, and then we chatted about Attic Kids. And she remembered more than me, and she wrote down all the characters with the sound effects and everything from her memory. But she encouraged me to pick up a pen again and start start making notes for the attic kids, and that's kind of where that came from. But yeah, and then in the book, I always used to do this, a little bit naughty of me, but they would say, Lara, tonight can you do the rapping rabbit, for example? And I would literally be like, what? Who? What? Like, I used to pretend that it was all like real. Yeah, sorry, Jess, it's not real. but yeah, so we so and then that's actually portrayed in the book. So the characters Ralph, Bessie, and Sally are pretty much based on me, my brother and sister.
How about the two in An Olive Tale? Actually, just tell us briefly the plot of An Olive Tale.
Of Olive Tale, yeah. Olive Tale, obviously the three fairies, and the plot is there's Lily and Alexander who come to Spain, and they arrive in a rural hotel, which is based in the Hotel Llano Pina in Loja in Granada. They all make friends, and then they are taken to. They all make friends on the terrace, and then suddenly all the parents are taken from. They disappear, and they are taken by the evil cucaracha. And then the fairies come along, they help the children, and they have to go to the underground world of the Olive Kingdom to rescue their parents. They meet so many characters along the way, and yeah, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but yeah, it's a fun kind of, going through different parts to get to the Olive Kingdom, meeting all different characters, getting to know one another as well. So good, yeah.
So then you carried on with the bedtime stories. It's kind of a similar theme, isn't it? It's the group of kids disappearing off into a different world or a different dimension.
Yeah, with the as far as the illustrations go, I decided to take the evil cucaracha into the attic kid. He comes up, I think, book 3. He appears because. Illustration-wise, we didn't really use him in. I do have plans to write a second Olive Tale, and we didn't really use the illustrations for him. Although he's a big part of the story, we didn't really use the illustration for him. So because Attic Kids is so visual, it's not a very big book. It's volumes 1 to, well, there's going to be 5 in the series. Volumes 1 to 3 are already uploaded on Amazon, and then volume 4 I'm actually working on at the moment. So that's where I decided to bring him into that story. Yeah, that's how it worked out.
Excellent. Yeah, I love the picture in there. That's great.
Yeah, he's really, Stuart did a great job. Yeah, really, just how I wanted him to be. Yeah.
Excellent. So you talked about getting the books uploaded on to be sold. Let's talk about publishing your own books. I mean, that's something that a lot of people might want to be doing. It seems a lot easier in this digital age. What authors used to have to do is send manuscripts off to persuade publishers to take you on, and that must be a miserable existence of trying to do that. I mean, J.K. Rowling did it she was turned down by 20 or 30 different publishers. So so tell us, how can our watchers become authors too? What's the process? I
mean, I still to this day do send off to agents. I haven't sent off to that many. But I do try to, because obviously they can take it to the next level. So, I still do that. I've had, I think, about 4 rejections, not a lot, but I still try.
Yeah.
But as far as the self-publishing, I use Fiverr a lot. I don't know if you've heard of that website, fiverr.com. And on there's like so many different people offering their services, to help you with uploading to Amazon KPD, self-publishing. Helping you to sharpen images, editing, so I definitely really highly recommend there, because you can. I would say look at the reviews of the people. They've got certain criteria, if they've get so many stars, if they've done so many good jobs, etc. And I just feel like I hit the jackpot with the people that I kind of chose. I've got Paisley, she's from America. She does all of my editing. I have Maria, she helps me upload to KPD. Missy, she helped me to sharpen all of my images. I've just had a very good experience with them. You kind of leave it in their hands, explain exactly what you want, and then they do their work, and it's great. So yeah, really good. So
there's a certain amount of expense involved in doing that.
Yeah,
so can you give some kind of idea of how much?
It depends. I mean, you can pay anything from. I think the editing of Olive Tale was quite a bit more. I think that was about 200 and odd. And then, it's done by word count, so that's makes it more expensive.
Is that why you started doing thinner books then?
No. not at all. No. And then, like, with the image side of things, pricing, sorry. I mean, the good thing with Fiverr, I mean, two of the people that I use are based in Pakistan. So they're not, I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, I can pay as little as like €40 for like, I don't know, like say 8 images to be sharpened, so it's not highly expensive. But just obviously when there's loads of images.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's not excessive.
That's good to know. There's probably so much more that watchers want to know, but I think what I'll do is I'm going to leave that for them to ask in the comments below. Any questions there, please ask me. I mean, as far as writing, like the beginning, for me personally, like I start with like a character board, and I just like I make all I really love handwriting. In fact, Chris and the kids laugh at me because there's pieces of my paper. In fact, Chris gets a bit angry because there's pieces of my paper everywhere because I'm like writing notes all the time. And I think it's because when I handwrite, I can write quite neatly. Well, people say like I write neatly. My granddad taught me. And like it calms me. I don't know what it is about having a pen and you've got I just say cup of tea, a cup of Tetley's tea and a pen and writing, and I'm very relaxed. I make all these notes and obviously I try and keep them together, but they're a little bit around the house. And so with the character, that's what I do with the first part. Like I get like a big corkboard from like the keynote, and then I just like I make all these notes, and then I write out all the characters and all the description of the characters, visually how they look, of their characteristics, what kind of person they are, etc. And then I just put them all on the board, and then Stuart, my father-in-law, I'll sketch out all what I want to begin with. So I'll have a character description, and I'll sketch out how I see it in my head, and then I send that off to him either via WhatsApp or email, and then he does his magic, and then it comes back and it looks completely different. But no, he does a really good job. I mean, you'll see his work is fantastic. Sounds like he's been quite a support to you as well along the way.
Oh, he's been amazing. Yeah. I could not ask for a better father-in-law, definitely. We have a bit of a joke because he'll send me the image, and then I'll be like, oh well, I don't like this and I don't like that, and like I kind of pick it apart, and we'll kind of exchange WhatsApp, etc. And it's a bit of a joke that I'd probably drive him crazy, but he still comes back for more and sends me more, so I'm happy.
That's brilliant. Sounds like your granddad's important as well. That's without any spoilers. I won't give that away, but sounds like your granddad's quite important. You mentioned him twice as well.
Oh right, yeah, my granddad. He was my favourite person ever, and he unfortunately passed away when I was I 27? About 27. But he had a really big influence in my life. A very Yorkshire man, and a good guy. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, that's a lovely place to stop for now. But my dear watchers and listeners, have you enjoyed this show? And don't forget to gently caress the like button. You don't have to smash it, and subscribe and click on the bell if you haven't already, so you'll be the first to know what's coming up each week on the live shows and the midweek videos. And before I tell you who's on the next week's show, let me just remind you that if you have any questions or comments for Lara, put them in YouTube in the comments below the video, not on some random Facebook group, because we want our watchers and listeners to benefit from the answers for free. It's another win-win-win with a cherry on top. So let's say a huge thank you to Lara Clara. Give her a massive virtual hug and a kiss. And we'll be seeing you. You're very welcome. We'll be seeing you again, I'm sure, fairly soon, when you'll be talking about how to move your car over to Spain and get it registered onto Spanish plates, because that's that's your job at Upsticks Drive. So we'll sort out a date for that soon, and we'll see you then. So bye for now.
Bye.
So who do I have on the show next week? Well, of course, it's Chris from Upsticks. You've just seen his wife with our regular fortnightly batch of extremely helpful answers to your visa and residency questions. Don't forget you can ask him in advance on our Facebook page or the Facebook group. Thanks to all of you for joining us, leaving comments, hitting the like button and supporting us with donations and memberships. It is all very much appreciated. I'll see you either on the midweek video or live on Saturday mornings at our regular time of 9 a.m. if you're in the UK or Ireland or Portugal or the Channel Islands, or 10 a.m. if you're in Spain or Central Europe. That is all for this week. Someone pass around the author cookies. Peace and love, peas and fluff. And here's one final message from all of the voices in my head at YouTooSpain. See you soon. Wave goodbye, lads. Bye.
Goodbye. Toodaloo.
Peace and love.
Peas and fluff. Oi, oi. Don't do anything I wouldn't do.
One more cosmic dance?
All right then. Look, Mum, I'm dancing.
Oh, I'm all a quiver.
Let's dance.